Padre?
Eat this.
Stay where you belong. In my memories.
Never be a memory.
So this is a video idea I've been thinking to make over probably a few years by now. But with the recent updates with Sony deleting movies off of PlayStation stores, over 500 movies, and also recently just saying we're going to delete physical disc games in 2028, which made a lot of people upset. But this isn't just about video games at all. This is about physical media versus digital media that's going on at the moment right now. So let's talk about that. The reason why I like physical games in a whole is because I own this. Not actually own it, because I know smart people on the internet say you don't actually own it, blah 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 blah. But I own this version of the game. I can sell it to maybe make cash or trade in for store credit, or I could pretty much lend it to a friend to let them borrow to try out the game and whatnot. But with digital, you can't really do anything with it. You're pretty much buying a licensing and expecting the company to keep it forever for you without giving you the burb whenever they feel like it. Like, for example, let's say I want to rewatch this TV show on something I already subscribed to, and they took it off without me knowing. Well, now I have to pay more extra money to find another server to actually watch this legally, or what most people do when their favorite show isn't on any other platform to watch legally, they go to a pirate site to watch it, or just go out and try and buy a physical version that they own and don't have to worry about a company taking it away from them. Just like those movies. Same issue with video games as well. Like, for a very good example that I have with this is Jump Force. This game came out in 2020, I believe. It was really hype. People liked it. Oh man, I could have anime characters fighting each other in New York or at Paris or whatever, you know. But after that came out, the game went downhill. It was not a very good game. People didn't like it. And even at the time when they were trying to sell this game, Bandai Namco, they also delisted J-Stars. So they delisted J-Stars just so they could try and push sales for Jump Force. This game only lasted for 2 years until they delisted it. Mostly because of licensing, because all the copyright of the anime characters. And the game wasn't selling good at all, so they delisted it. Well, now you have two games that are gone. One, because a company was trying to push another game out because just to make more money out of it. And the other was because of this licensing, which happens to like cars or music they use, and it's gone. The only way you could play this game is if you bought the game digitally before it was gone, or you have to go out and find a physical version of this game. That is the only way you could play this game, or pretty much watch or whatever that is gone forever because of the companies that you put in trust with the practices that they are doing now, like what I mentioned earlier with Sony's doing to games and movies. As most of us know, video games is pretty much the #1 entertainment market pretty much all over the world. And at the moment, because of GTA 6 not releasing a physical version of their game with only a digital code with it and other stuff, video game companies are watching what is going on at this moment of drama this year, and pretty much any other companies as well watching what's going on and what's going to happen, you know. I just don't think the world is ready for all digital world as of now. Like, for me, I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle when it comes to physical and digital games, but I'm more favorite into physical because I have more control over it and I pretty much own the first version of the game that I have with it. But that's pretty much what boils down to it. I feel like eventually video games will become digital because they will get bigger and bigger to the point you can't fit. You have to put on like 3 game discs on there like we used to back in the 90s or whatever, just so they could keep going. And I don't think companies will do that because it gets costly when you put more than 2 discs or whatever and try and sell it and hope it does good. If we do, but I do believe eventually it'll be all digital for games in at least 2030 or 2035 if they do it correctly. Then again, I would like to have more control, just like I do with a physical game that I can have and hold in my hand with it as well. But I also see video games as art with the physical, instead of just looking on a screen of files. Like for example, this Gaia 1 for the Switch. You can open it. Usually for like manuals, I don't really care much for them, just because I don't. But like on this is the original art of the game right here, and I could switch it over into the alternative art right here. You know, I could do it and make it look nice with it, however I please. Also, physical, this shows someone's personality. Like for example, right here, I'm a big Final Fantasy fan, so I pretty much have my Final Fantasy stuff right here, and it just pretty much shows who I am or what I'm interested in. So this is my list. I think that needs to be changed if they really want to push physical media people over to digital, even though there's a higher sellings in physical games and than digital. Like for example, when the PS5 came out, they both have a disc version and a digital version. Well, the disc version sold more than the digital because most people say it's because people want to play their PS4 backup compatibility on their PS5 at the time and stuff like that. But even with that technology, with Xbox though, the Xbox Series S, the digital version, sold more than the disc drive version. So I can see Xbox being all digital because of their Game Pass thing that they all have right now, versus what Nintendo and PlayStation fans are mostly physical copies that are still pretty high up there. The first idea I think that needs to be changed is to change the law with these companies or just digital media in general. That'll help customers so they don't get like screwed over from companies taking something that they paid for with their hard-earned cash with it, like what Sony's doing with the movies and stuff like that. This helps customers not get screwed over from big corporates. Number 2 is to make digital games, make them cheaper than the physical. Like Nintendo's doing, for example, with their practice on the Switch 2. They have $50 digital game versus a $60 physical game. That is a practice that Nintendo is trying right now and just testing in the waters. And I think if they really want to force us into digital, if they're going to push forward with the digital, I would like to see digital games be way more cheaper than physical, because there is no need for a $60 digital game when it's not being shipped into or getting made into a disc or case or whatever, you know. But that also just leaves into the sad part, which I should have mentioned earlier, that people will lose jobs if everything does go digital, which is why I support physical anyways. But then again, this is just like a what if scenario if they try and push it forward just to make it better for their customers. Step 3 is to see more demos. Well, I would like to see more demos of video games. I don't want to wait 3 months or maybe even a year after the game is released, because I already bought it and then I'm like, oh, I don't like this game, and then there's a demo that comes out later on. It's like, well, I would have saved my money if I played the demo and I could decide better if I like this game on day one instead of just trying to rely on videos and decide, you know. I think more games should have demos just so it helps the customer decide if they will like it or not, either on the day of the game does come out or at least 2 weeks or so before the game comes out, just so the consumer will know if this game is right for them to buy without having to waste money and all that extra stuff. Step 4 is a point system. Xbox and Nintendo has practiced with this point system already before. Xbox, you earn achievements, you get points, you can get discounts on games, or if you save enough, you could get the games totally for free, like someone did for GTA 6. Nintendo used to do this 2 years ago, but they took it off for unknown reasons. But you could get these gold points for your physical and digital games, which was amazing. With the physical games, you have to buy it brand new within that year to redeem those points. But after that year is over for that new game, you can't redeem those points. But it's still good because you could use those points for maybe DLC or just get a discount or whatever on a game. But then again, I don't know why Nintendo removed it. It was a really neat feature that I like. And if they want to move it into the more digital world, I think all three companies, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo, should make the point system, like combine the two together, just to make both realities happen and make people happy. Another weird thing I think they should do to make even more people move over to digital is probably a trade system. I know Steam has like a return policy, like you get, after buying something, you get like, I think 5 hours until you could get your money back or whatever. But I think the trade system would be better just to like I said, to move physical media people over to digital. Like for example, you're limited to only 5 games you could trade over, and you can get half the points you got when you bought it, or at least maybe less. This so people don't abuse it and it'll like roll over into the next year or whatever. Again, I don't think the trade system will work because of money. They want more money. But it's just an idea. But the point system, I think, will just make more people happy with that. As a bonus, if we do try and go full digital, I would like to see more merch into the games. Nintendo is really good with their merch, with like having like 2 stores, one in New York and one in California, with like their merchandise you could buy in an online store, just so you could just support the games that you like. And also I'd like to see more merch for these games. I think PlayStation is doing a practice with their merch too, is that it just shows more personality to the person. Instead of just having your games all digital, you can have like a poster or a plushie or whatever of your favorite series. This should show your more personality when a friend or family member comes over. And that's pretty much it on my thought with physical and digital stuff. I know this isn't like a really good video and there's probably way better ones out there, but I just want to kind of like throw my ideas out there and kind of like release the stress from all that's going on, because like I said, I am a physical media person, because you could either buy a $60 game digitally, or you could buy like a 3-year-old game for probably like $20. I would rather go for the $20 on that point. It's just, there's just a lot of drama, and I just want to throw my ideas out there with this. Hopefully physical media lasts forever. Maybe longer than 2035, you know? But it just seems hard at the moment right now, mostly because like with Sony, they're very greedy and Xbox is doing practices. And if it does come to shove, I feel like a lot of people would move over to Nintendo because they seem more reasonable and more likely to have physical games lasting, and probably to save the video game crash market if that does happen again, just like Nintendo did. The digital world just seems sad. I don't want to see it at all, because when you have something physical, you could give it out to someone for Christmas or birthday or whatever, And it just seems sad without the physical media to just gifting it to someone, you know? And I think that's where a lot of people just gets upset with it, because of just there's no ownership with it. And when you're giving it to someone, it's like, would you rather have a physical game or a gift card? You know? But again, if numbers do show in the future, probably like in 2030, you know, I can't predict that. I would say it's your money. You could do whatever you want with it. Either buy the game digital or physical. I feel like a lot of people gave up during 2020 because of the whole world crisis thing, and that's where probably digital media went up a little bit, but there's still hopes and love for physical media. The only concern I have for the future of digital is with books becoming full digital. Books are still very strong in physical media, but at this one point, maybe like 2040 or whatever, it goes digital. People can change the writing and the wording of it, especially in like history books too. So that's just another scary thing about digital stuff, especially when it comes with books. I feel like someone already gonna type it down already, like, oh, you gotta download the game anyway with a disc. And I'm probably too slow to catch that in this video, but basically with like disc, the reason why it installs into your console, because there is a limit that a disc can spin before it burns and mess with, you get like technical issues with it, you know. So basically the game installs it without no internet into your hard drive, and the game runs off of the hard drive because it's obviously faster. And the disc is pretty much the key to say, hey, this is legit, you know, you could play this because the disc is in there, you know. That's all I have to say for physical and digital media. And like I said, hopefully the physical media lasts forever, at least.